Donald Trump is clearly feeling like himself again after surviving an assassination attempt 12 days ago. Here's what he said on Fox this morning.
I get a kick out of one thing. They say, sir, you just got hit with a bullet. Maybe he's changed. Be nice. And I'd love to be nice, but I'm dealing against real garbage.
The Harris campaign responded to that interview with a statement. It came out within moments, and here is what the subject line said. 78-year-old criminals, Fox News appearance. And among the biting lines inside that email, after watching Fox News this morning, we only have one question. Is Donald Trump okay?
The Harris campaign is characterizing this tone as him being flustered and lashing out. And I can tell you, the more that we hear Republicans, the former president tried to frame this contest in racialized terms, in terms of gender, I think it only sort of adds rocket fuel to the Harris campaign, because you have people that are going to become even more animated, you know, when they hear things like, oh, she's a DEI candidate. Well, you have voters that are going to say in kind, well, we'll show you a DEI candidate. We're going to go ahead and we're going to vote for her in the fall. So they have to strike a really they have to walk a tightrope here in the way that they frame their messaging against her, because what it has the effect, what it can do in effect is really animate a debate, a base that was previously very deflated.
But I think in talking to Democrats, I don't think they were any illusion that Donald Trump would not revert back to vintage Trump. I mean, there was an expectation that the unity would last over the course of the convention. Maybe there would be some spillover effect, but that it certainly would not be the characterization of the campaign going into the fall. And even to that end, when Joe Biden, the president, was on the campaign trail in Las Vegas, the gloves were off for him. He was saying that Donald Trump was lying like hell. What the hell is the matter with this guy? I mean, he amped up his rhetoric even before the convention was over. And so it just seems like it was destined to be short-lived.
No question.
Even as it happened.
I could not agree with you more. I think anybody who has been living on planet Earth would not be surprised. The issue now is how they are turning inside the Trump campaign to focus, obviously, not on Joe Biden and not on the age thing and all of the things that they had ready to go, but on Kamala Harris.
And it seems like they are struggling to find something that will stick. They are testing all sorts of things. It was laughing Kamala, now it's lying Kamala. There's the DEI stuff that they're attacking her for, the border, Israel and Gaza over the weekend. But I was talking to a Republican pollster yesterday, and I asked if Kamala Harris would would highlight any of Trump's weaknesses. And this pollster said, well, it depends actually on how Trump responds. If he goes low, then it's going to backfire on him, because this is what people remember about Donald Trump. This will bring up those feelings that they don't like about Donald Trump.
Erase the amnesia.
Exactly. Like with Joe Biden, when he was attacking Joe Biden, the attacks were kind of real. People thought, yeah, but he is old. Like, is he able to do the job for the next 4 years? We don't know. Now with Kamala Harris, she's kind of a blank slate for most people, and Trump is, he has a choice to make, and I think we know which one he's going to make.
He's kind of already made it.
I do want to ask you, Jamal, because Trump has been out on the campaign. We haven't talked about, I mean, one of the things that might be getting under Trump's skin is all this talk about Kamala Harris over the last several days. And he has really come out with some pretty nasty rhetoric. Let's listen to what he had to say at his rally yesterday.
I was supposed to be nice. If you don't mind, I'm not going to be nice. Kamala Harris wants to be the president for savage criminals, illegal aliens. She's committing crimes. I'm the prosecutor, and he's the convicted felon. She couldn't pass her bar exam. She's totally against the Jewish people. She is a radical left lunatic who will destroy our country. Kamala, you've done a terrible job. You've been terrible at everything you've done. You're ultra-liberal, and we don't want you here. We don't want you anywhere. Kamala, you're fired.
Jamal, I don't know where to start there, but I mean, he certainly knows how to pronounce her name. But I mean, the one piece of that montage that we had there was he said that she's against the Jewish people. Doug Emhoff, her husband, the second gentleman, is Jewish. So I don't. Some of this stuff doesn't hold up.
He is, and as Maria talked about, so are her stepkids. So for her to for her to be against Jewish people would be against the people that she loves the most, the people that are in her nuclear family. So I think that just doesn't hold water. Listen, this isn't about that. This is about othering Kamala Harris. And one thing that we do know is here's a woman who is living the American story. She's a child of immigrants. She grew up and went to one of the best schools in the country, even though it's my rival school. She went to Howard University. I went to Morehouse. But she went to one of the best schools in the country. She's achieved. She's got a law degree. She became at every level of government she could have, she achieved. And so to talk about that is to try to other her and say her story is not the American story, but because of her story, she's also very attached to other people's aspirations. So you hear her talking about, it's in the ad they put up today. It's not just about getting by, it's about getting ahead. And she knows it's important for people to have the economic opportunity in order to take care of their families. And that's what she's been talking about. When I worked for her, she spent a lot of time talking about infrastructure. We spent a lot of time talking about the children's tax credit, the child tax credit that was lifting families out of poverty. She was meeting with union members in every city that we went to. We just saw the laborers have introduced her, endorsed her just the last day. So we know that people who are working every day, seeing Kamala Harris an ally who's going to help them achieve the things they want for their families.
And if I can say, Jim, Speaker Johnson said the other day, Stay away from this DEI stuff. It's not helpful. Focus on the record and the facts. The RNC puts together what we call the book. It's an opposition research document. It can be hundreds of pages. There's so much material in there about her record as vice president, attorney general, senator. You've got the material right there. Use that.
And very quickly, Jim, last night I moderated, along with Maria Teresa Kumar, a call of Latina leaders. Up to 5,000 at one point had joined the call. The energy and the mobilization and just the love for this woman who, as Jamal said, represented them, their families, their aspirations, where they wanted to go in this country versus the dark, the existential threat that somebody like Donald Trump and now J.D. Vance, who are actually focused on the He-Man Women's Hater Caucus, is something that is going to be a huge contrast going into this election.
I don't know how many people have been holding their breath, waiting to see this new, nicer version of the former president. We've covered him for many, many years. There have been ebbs and flows about whether this would be a different, more presidential, more serious, more nicer, however you want to describe it. Trump is the same Trump. The fact that he's choosing to go about now characterizing his new opponent and rival by calling her dumb, by criticizing her liberal past, by mispronouncing her name. I mean, I'm just wondering, how effective is that outside of the MAGA base?
Yeah, I mean, inside the MAGA base, it's very effective. And there was no question he was not going to take a unifying tone, mostly because they don't want him to. He does respond to his base, and they want him to be on the attack. So calling her a lunatic earlier today, he called her garbage. I mean, really gross descriptors. And over on the right, his surrogates and fans are even saying worse things. This is what they're there for, unfortunately. So he's giving the people what they want. Outside of that, though, this smacks of real desperation. Look, she's got a record to go after. She's got liberal policies, things that she's said, things that she's done, both as a senator and a vice president, that are ripe for, Republican and conservative attacks and criticism. They can do that, and that's what they should do, because outside of the MAGA base, the voters they still need to get, women, swing state voters, independents, moderates, they don't like this. They are not here for that. That's why they're not behind Trump yet. And so they're waiting for someone to come along and talk about the real issues. That person might just be Kamala Harris. If Trump doesn't realize, and J.D. Vance doesn't realize, that these attacks on women specifically are really alienating the very voters they need.